Hello, Will Thunder Talks here with another video, delving into a bit of a different one today. What is my sexuality? So I'm going to outline a bit of the arc here that I feel like I've been on to explore this and understand this, ultimately to come to a conclusion, hopefully. But something I've been interested in exploring and understanding, like historically especially. I'm currently, for context, in a long-term relationship of 8+ years, 4 years of marriage to a woman. She's pretty cool, by the way. So on the surface, yes. The short answer is I'm a heterosexual man. But I guess something I want to talk about in terms of my sexuality is like, I guess the arc that I feel like I went on in a way. I've always been very curious. I've always been very curious of what it's like to have differences in sexual preferences, differences in how people experience and explore those preferences. I guess I personally felt like, certainly when I was a teenager, like I was very curious to explore, like, am I gay? Am I not? Am I a homosexual man? Am I bisexual? Am I some of the variants of that? Pansexual, demisexual, etc., etc. So I really had a look at men and was like, how do I feel about that? And I didn't really act on any of it. I think I was a bit too anxious to at the time. Not as sexually liberated as I might like to think I am. But I kind of looked at men and was like, men, how do I feel about men? How do I feel about femboys? How do I feel about masculine men? How do I feel about masculine ladies? How do I feel about super feminine ladies? And I guess it's not very black and white. I feel like it's been an arc of change over time in terms of what my preferences have been based on who I am as a person and how I've grown and changed and developed. And I guess I feel like historically I think there was a period I was attracted to what I perceived were like masculine men, probably for a little bit in my teenage, like 19, 20. There were some men I found attractive, which I think was very confusing for me at the time. But I think that was mostly it. And I don't know if that was just kind of me being open and confused about my own sexuality, or just curious about the other side of things. But I think that was it in terms of being attracted to men. So if you want to consider that bisexual, you can, I guess. But I think it was more that they were a kind person, and I was kind of attracted to that, sort of romantically instead of like lustfully. I mean, I feel now I'm kind of into more like personality traits romantically. And I guess I bring up sexuality as well because it kind of links in interestingly with my weight loss. That my sexuality has adjusted since I've lost weight. Like, I feel more of like a testosterone push. Like, I almost feel more physically attracted to women's bodies than I think I have done in a very long time. Because I think I was just kind of almost borderline asexual for a while. I was attracted to my wife, but probably for being morbidly obese, I didn't really have the energy or super hard interest in women for a few years, or people at all for a few years. And I think improving my own body's given me a bit more confidence and comfort to explore that a bit and be a bit more honest and authentic with my preferences. But on the whole, probably like heterosexual. I think I've always been more attracted to masculine presenting women. Not entirely masculine, I guess more on the masculine leading side, if I'm honest. But often I end up being attracted to lesbians. That's my arc. And then I just married a woman people mistake for a lesbian, because apparently that's my type. And I think that, interestingly for me, that attraction started with a cartoon show called Steven Universe, where there's a character called Amethyst. I was very attracted to as a teenager. That was my jam, Amethyst. If you ever seen Steven Universe, I had some sexual awakening seeing Amethyst be Amethyst. I was like, I like that very much. And I guess that reflects in the women I have dated for sure. And I guess probably my wife now. My wife's probably the closest I can ask to be like an IRL Amethyst. I guess some things I've noticed that like I'm attracted to is probably like voice texture, certain texture of the voice, a graveliness I quite like. And I guess I'm also attracted to a bit of a bravado, somebody who's a bit more outspoken, because I can be a quieter sort in some situations. Sometimes I'm certainly not. Sometimes I'm the noisy one. But most of the time, I'm generally the calm and quiet one. So I'm comfortable in that role. But yeah, short one today. That's my sexuality, pretty much in a nutshell. But it changes over time. Who knows what I'll be into in a few years? I'll change. You might change. Who knows? I'm excited to see what comes up and what I can explore. But I'm going to leave it there for today. You've been wonderful. I've been Will. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.